Well, good morning. It's your good buddy Spider here with another day of news for you on the morning show. It's all about the news here at 6 a.m. every day, with a couple of exceptions here and there. And that's right, you're sipping coffee with Spider. So let's get right on down to it and get into the news, shall we? We shall. First up, from WION. Scientists find a dwarf planet near Mars that might be hosting alien life. Oh, it's kind of clickbaity, but let's take a look because you know me, space really excites me. Um, a dwarf planet near Mars might help researchers detect alien life in space, as a recent study points towards the presence of organic matter on that planet in abundance. The planet is called Ceres and is located in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. And it was in 2017 that the presence of organic matter was first detected on the planet. But now it has been revealed that the presence is more widespread than earlier thought. Man, that is really, really exciting. Here's a quote. The organics were initially detected in the vicinity of a large impact crater, which is what motivated us to look at how impacts affect these organics. Tarek Daly, a planetary scientist at the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory and leader of the study, said in a statement. He continued, "We are finding that organics may be more widespread than first reported, and that they seem to be resilient to impacts with series-like conditions." Ooh, boy. Now, when they say organics, that doesn't mean organic creatures running around necessarily, because we really don't know. But they mean like the building blocks, carbon and hydrogen and oxygen and the various things that make up organic life, that make up our bodies. We're carbon-based life forms. So most of the organics part of that statement is pointing towards those kind of things. So that's pretty impressive. I'm looking forward to what they find from there. I'd like to find out. Associated Press with some not so exciting news. Biden declares Israel and Ukraine support is vital for U.S. security. Will ask Congress for billions. I don't think it is, sir. As I've said, Israel has one of the most well-trained militaries in the world. I think they're fine. Yeah, they get caught by surprise with these surprise attacks, and that's tragic. And I'm not going to downplay that, but they don't need us in the United States to protect them. I mean, this was going to happen regardless, and we've been sending them aid for years and years and years, and this still happened. So obviously, more money thrown at the problem is not going to fix it. Stop sending them money. Let them deal with it. They can handle it. As for the Ukraine, money is not going to fix that either. The only thing we need to do is we need to get Russia to sit down and talk this out and get them to back off. I know that's easier said than done by a large margin. I get that. I'm not an idiot, as much as some people might think that. I do pay attention. But continuing to fund whatever's going on in Ukraine is not going to work. Okay, we need to sit down, get the problems worked out, get Russia to leave on their own. My personal opinion. Newsweek with more exciting space news. Astronomers detect mysterious space signal from 8 billion light years away. Ooh. Astronomers have detected a mysterious and record-breaking signal originating from so far away in the distant universe that it took 8 billion years to reach us. The unusual signal, described in a paper published in the journal Science, represents a type of cosmic phenomenon known as fast radio bursts. Fast radio bursts are intense but very brief pulses of radio waves the same type of radiation emitted by your cell phone or a microwave that originate from distant sources in the universe. Even though astronomers have the world's most sensitive radio telescopes and supercomputing systems at their disposal, looking for FRBs is like searching for a needle in a haystack. But that's pretty cool that they found something. And being that old, I mean, if it does belong to a sentient race, they could be dead and gone by now. So, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. But I'm interested. I'm all in for space stuff. You know me. I love space. ABC News. Republicans expected to meet Thursday morning ahead of possible vote. Well, today was Thursday, unless they're talking about a week from today. This was 5 hours ago that the story came up, but they've tried to vote in Jim Jordan from Ohio twice, and they've failed both times. I don't know who else they have that they're considering, to be honest. Most of the names that I've seen come up have been like goofy things, like a bunch of people wanted to do Trump, like vote for Trump as the speaker. Like, come on, that's never gonna fly. Good luck with all that. I mean, but who knows? I mean, stranger things have happened. We'll have to see. Associated Press says hurricanes are now twice as likely to, and this is their words, zip from minor to whopper than decades ago, study says. So they say that the jump from tropical storm to hurricane is happening faster, much faster. And that those hurricanes are gaining in strength much, much more quickly. And I'm sure the article is going to go on to say something about climate change, and possibly that is the right answer, but it's also possibly just a natural cycle of the planet, as I've said before. There's still a lot of questions as to what's driving the current change in climate on planet Earth. I know a lot of people out there are going to instantly say, "Well, there's settled science. Clearly, it's humans and they're fossil fuels and whatever." And as always, I have to say that no science is absolutely settled. If you say it's settled, it means you're done asking questions. And if you're done asking questions, then you're done listening to science, because science is never done asking questions. Okay? And that's why we had so many problems during the virus years, because people just accepted face value and stopped asking questions. It's settled science. Follow the science. Follow this. Oh, well, the science is constantly changing. It's never the same twice. It might stay stable for quite a long time, but something will always eventually come up to upend the apple cart, as some would say. Let's see what's next. CBS News. Man searching carrot field finds ancient gold and bronze jewelry and multiple teeth. That's cool. I mean, if you're into that kind of stuff, some people are like, teeth in my carrot field. But how far back is this? This is a freshly plowed carrot field in Switzerland. He found a large ornate jewelry set dating to the Bronze Age, as well as other surprising items, including a bear's tooth, a beaver's tooth, and a fossilized shark's tooth. Now that's cool. Could tell us some things about the migration of humanity across the planet. The Bronze Age is about the time, as far as I'm aware, that some of the old religions started to come up. Old Judaism and things like that. So it's an interesting time. Very interesting time. People magazine says strange and fascinating deep sea creature washes up on beach in very rare sighting. And there's a picture, and it looks like a football fish. The Pacific football fish, I was right. It's a species of anglerfish. It glows in the dark and has teeth resembling pointed sharks. Sharks. Don't laugh. That wasn't intentional. Don't laugh. It's not funny. Shards. Okay. Come on now. We're older than that. Most of us. Stop it. Um, Teeth resembling pointed shards with a D of glass, according to Crystal Cove State Park. It's a pretty gnarly picture, but it's cool. And this is the second time since 2021 that a rare deep sea creature has washed up on a California beach. So now you have to wonder what's going on way down in the deep that's bringing these creatures up and washing them ashore. What is swimming around down there that's causing all this stuff to happen? Very interesting. Very interesting. And it's intact too. The Verge. Slack is retiring its status account on X, formerly Twitter. Slack, I believe, is a corporate social media platform for intercorporate stuff, so that employees can ask questions of management and back and forth. It's not supposed to be a public thing, as far as I'm aware. Slack is retiring its status account on X that previously shared updates about issues and outages on the platform, the company announced on Thursday. Quote, "We made the decision to retire the @Slack status account in order to consolidate our communications around incidents and focus resources on those most widely used by our customers." This was said by Kevin Albers, Vice President of Customer Experience at Slack. And this was a statement to The Verge. Interesting. So I wonder what they're going to use. I wonder what they're going to use now for people to report problems with the service. It's interesting. Maybe things are going to go more directly, or maybe things are going to get worse. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't use it. I'm not part of corporate culture, so I don't know if it was worthwhile. And I don't use X or Twitter or any of that kind of stuff. So, IGN Metal Gear Solid Master Collection. If you're excited about that, I know a few people are. Finally lets players pause cutscenes, but it takes 10 seconds. So depending on the cutscene, it could be over by then. I know pausing cutscenes is kind of a thing that I've noticed over the last year or two. It was something that kind of caught me by surprise, and I didn't really think much of it until I realized what was going on, that I was able to pause during cutscenes on my Series X. And we've come a long way with gaming systems to be able to do these kind of things. It seems minor if you're not a game player, but man, it's a big thing. It's a big thing in resource management, let me tell you. IGN, which with what looks like a new game, The Walking Dead Destinies arrives this November. Let's see what it has to say about that. As usual, there's always a bunch of gaming news. It's coming to PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, and the Series S and X, the Nintendo Switch, and PC on November 17th. It's a third-person, narrative-driven action-adventure game. So, if you're into The Walking Dead and you want a new game, it's coming out in November. Something to look forward to for you. HuffPost trying to cash in on some controversy because that's what HuffPost does, which is why they're not a legitimate news source as much as they'll say otherwise. And they would call me all kinds of names if they knew I was talking about them like this. But they're BS news. They're as bad as TMZ or worse. But they say J.K. Rowling, the Harry Potter writer, says she'd happily go to jail for calling someone the wrong pronouns. And before people get on me about this, I see where she's coming from because here's the thing, okay? And I'm not bigoted against people. If you want to be a man, woman, a non-binary, something else, I don't care. You do what you want to do. That doesn't have anything to do with me. Okay, it's got nothing to do with me. If I see you coming down the street and for some reason we're engaged in conversation, okay, I can only trust my senses in how I'm dealing with you. If you appear to be a male or a female or whatever, that's what I'm gonna have to assume you are. And I know that's assuming genders and whatever. And you know what? Deal with it. People can only interact the way that their senses observe things in the world. Like, I can't just. You can't just expect people to walk around constantly on eggshells and just assume that every single person they meet could potentially be non-binary or could be the opposite of what they appear to be. It's not realistic. It just goes against our senses. It goes against how our brains are wired. It's just, and I'm not trying to be disparaging. I'm not trying to tell people that they should be one or the other. I'm not saying that. So please don't get the wrong idea. If you come up to me and my brain, through my observations, tells me that you appear to be a woman, and I address you as a woman, if you don't identify as a woman, don't get mad at me. Just say, "Oh, I'm this." And I'll do my best to try to reconcile what my senses are telling me versus what you're telling me. I'll do my best to respect your wishes. Okay? But don't try to send people to jail as an assault, which is what this is all about. That's what she's referencing. That there are people out there who want to make it a crime of assault to use the wrong pronouns on somebody. And you know what? You can't. All right? You can't. Don't. Just accept the fact that people see the world through their senses. They see you through those senses, and they can only assume what they see. It's an automatic function. It's not some thing where they're deliberately trying to misname you and things like that. It's just how it is. Okay? And I'm not being bigoted. I really am not. I know some people are gonna instantly say, "Oh yes, you are," because whatever. I'm not. Because I don't care what or who you are. You can be whatever or whoever you want. If I know that's how you want to be treated, then that's how you are. That's fine. I don't care. If I don't know, you can't expect me to assume every single time. It's just as bad as assuming incorrectly. Okay? You can't. You can't expect me to just instantly pick up on that. And the same for every other average person going down the street. Now, I know this lady has some stronger opinions than that and has very specific things about whatever. And I'm not going to address that because it's a whole other issue. But I get the point that she's making here. Because it would be silly to charge somebody with assault for calling you the wrong thing. It is silly. You're being silly. If that makes you mad, well, then be mad. That's not got anything to do with me. That's everything to do with you. Okay. That sounds like a you problem, not a me problem. Okay. And I'll stand by that. I'm not a bigot. You can say whatever you want. You can say that I am all day, but it doesn't make it true. You can call me whatever names you want, but it doesn't make it true. Okay? Okay. Glad we had this talk. What's next? What do we got next? PC gamer Embracer reportedly guts another studio in the wake of its dead in the water $2 billion deal. I think I talked about this several episodes ago. That Embracer was working on some kind of big $2 billion deal that fell through, and it basically destroyed the company. A source at Zen Studios reportedly told Video Game Layoffs, whatever that is, that 32 developers are out of a job. It's a Hungarian studio. They do Pinball Effects, which is a popular game that has lots of add-ons. These are the folks who owned Volition, who created the latest Saints Row that bombed. And Volition had 30 years of history behind it, and it was completely closed after the failure of that game. Wow. So things are not looking good for them. Not looking good for them. Now, here's an interesting, there's two stories back to back stacked up in my aggregator. And let's see if we can reconcile these. The first is from Associated Press, and it says American Airlines lost $545 million in the third quarter on higher labor costs while rivals prosper. Okay. Reuters says American Airlines beats profit estimates, sees steady holiday bookings. So are they in trouble or are they not? Because apparently they've lost a chunk of money, but they're still beating their profit estimates. So what's the problem? What's the problem? I don't know. I failed to see the issue. I can't see what Reuters is all about because they're paywalled. So I can't compare it to Associated Press. Otherwise, I would do a compare and contrast. But it makes you think. Back-to-back stories. It's one of those things that makes you wonder just how heavily manipulated the news stories are, you know? Science alert with something fascinating for me. Hidden chambers found in crumbling pyramid 200 years after prediction. Ooh, let me see what the juicy details are about this. In 1836, Egyptologist John Shea Perring was excavating the pyramid of Sahur, also known as Sahura, when he noticed a debris-filled passageway. An expert on floor plans for these types of structures, he surmised there might be storage rooms beyond, but it would take another nearly 200 years to finally confirm his suspicions. That's cool. A joint Egyptian-German team working to return... My gosh, can I speak correctly today? Get it together. A joint Egyptian-German team working to restore the pyramid has shown Perring was correct using LiDAR, which is the laser that penetrates stuff, and they mapped the exterior and interior passages and chambers, and so that's cool. 8 previously hidden rooms off the passage that he found. and they're likely storage rooms, is the best guess, meant to hold burial objects belonging to royal rulers, which is according to Egyptologist Mohammed Ismail Khaled from Julius Maximilian's Universitat of Würzburg. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I got all that right and I couldn't get the other words right. It's located in the Abusir Pyramid Complex just south of Giza. So that's good news. I like that kind of stuff. I like finding new stuff. Associated Press, more on this story I reported on yesterday. Rite Aid lays out plan to close 154 stores initially as it seeks bankruptcy protection. And at least 4 of those stores are here in Ohio. None of which I think are actually really local to me. They're all in neighboring areas. But it's still a problem for people who need that kind of thing. It's lowering the competition in a drugstore, which is very unfortunate. One last story for today. From Popular Science, Elon Musk says, quote, "We dug our own grave with Cybertruck," ahead of its November release. So apparently it is not doing very well. I mean, I don't know. It looks interesting. Like, it's kind of cool. But I don't know. It's one of those things that looks too wacky to actually be a legitimate thing. No matter how well it works under the hood, the way it looks is going to affect people who want to buy it. And that's problematic because people are superficial creatures. Which goes back to my talk about genders and things. People are superficial and they'll see what they see. And you can't really expect much more from them than that. It'd be great if you could, but human nature being as it is. So the Cybertruck, admittedly by Elon Musk, not doing well. Who knows? Pardon me. But that's it. That's the news. That's everything we've got today. It is, what day is it? It's Friday. Friday. Hanging with my friends on Friday. Whatever. Today we're going to have a full English. I want the beans, the bacon, the potatoes, the tomatoes, the mushrooms, the sausage. Everything on this plate. I want it. I brought a plate. Fill it up. Everything. If you don't have everything, you need to get to the store quick. Because I want it. I'm a hungry fellow today. And I want my full English breakfast. And come on. You can't spare a little full English for your boy Spider? I'm only bringing you the news every morning. In your house. On your couch. On your TV, maybe. In your radio. Your cell phone. I'm everywhere. Least you could do is make me a big old breakfast. Okay? All right, full English. Chop, chop.